Welcome to Property Pro Tips. Dive into the heart of multifamily and commercial real estate with industry leaders, insights, and real stories. From seasoned investors to the latest market news, we've got you covered. Let's talk real estate for real.
What I've been doing is interviewing like famous investors of ours, you being one of them, of course. like very successful.
You're flattering me.
Successful interview.
You're flattering me.
Well, you deserve it. You've had a long, successful career, very much so.
Hey.
And I've made it since COVID. I've been interviewing just our clients on like how they got where they were, what was their first deal, where they got going, and how they got their start. And
Let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you my secret, which answers all the interview. Trevor, I'll always try to deal with people like yourself, upfront, open, transparent, and that way I always very smoothly achieved all the mutual goals. So
very
it depends on how you pick and choose the people you deal with.
For you, how you pick and choose the people you deal with. So you surround yourself with experts. Yeah.
Anybody who kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, I move away without having an argument, and I don't bother to make an effort to progress with them. The relationship, trust, transparency is key, and all the problems will be solved if that exists.
That's an awesome way of looking at things. And so tell me, if you don't mind, how did you get involved first in multifamily real estate?
It was through a person who introduced me to the industry. So I can't say I was creative about it, but I was introduced to it. Oh, and the other thing is the timing was very good.
What was your first deal?
My first deal occurred in New York City, and the timing was good because property values were depressed.
And
property values had gone through a cycle, and it was going through a cycle, and the values were kind of depressed, yes.
And how many years have you been in investment real estate now?
In this business since 1973.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one heck of a run. That is 40 years as of this year. That's a new record, folks.
No. It's 50.
No, it's 50 years. I'm sorry. My math is terrible. Yes. Look at that. 50 years in real estate. I can't even add. That's my fault. So then what do you think was your most significant deal of all time of your 50 years in real estate?
I don't have anything major or significant to talk about, but over the years, I look at it as many slices of a loaf, and I try to put a loaf together with small slices, basically.
Okay. Has your strategy always been to hold the slices once you got the bread together, or did you move things around along the way?
The strategy is to hold long term, yes.
And what does your portfolio look like today? I know some of it, but I don't think I know all of it.
Trevor, I like multifamily.
Multifamily, right. Why is multifamily your space instead of like commercial or industrial?
You're dealing with people who have an interest that coincides with yours, and that's to improve habitability and improve their environment. And all those coincides with my goals as well, to improve a building.
It's a very amazing way of looking at it. Leave something better than you left it through multifamily.
Yeah. And people who appreciate it and are interested in taking advantage and benefit from it.
That's great work. Just to sum up what you said for my own thoughts here, you went into multifamily knowing you could probably effectuate some kind of change on the world by making better apartments, keeping things more habitable, making it a better place to live for people than you would have in commercial or industrial, because it's just business related.
Right. All right.
That is awesome. And with that, though, I know owning multifamily has its own unique challenges. Is there like that one challenge that you faced once that you would say was a pretty good story?
Many challenges, over the time. It's not always easy. You have ups and downs, both in values and in interest rates, as we're experiencing now. So these are the challenges that you face as owner of a property.
How do you suggest that others in the real estate space right now, with their interest rates as they are, how do you suggest they go about facing these challenges? How have you faced inflation in the past?
Not to have too much debt, to be conservative, pay off as much as your obligations and debts that board, and weather the storm if there is a higher interest rate. But it all starts with not being too over leveraged.
Not be too over leveraged. Absolutely key. And if you were going to give one piece of advice to someone starting off in multifamily, aside from don't get over leveraged, that's a big one, right? Or buy low, sell high. But what, from your experience, what would be that one piece of advice to someone looking to just get into multifamily, like even now in a recessionary sort of environment that we're in with high inflation and interest rates?
Yeah, I think it's to read as much as possible about market conditions and absorb all the nuances that is currently occurring in the market, the changes in price, the interest rates, etc. Talk to as many brokers as possible. Gain, I would say, some kind of inherent memory for making a decision whenever the time comes.
Excellent. That is all the main questions. I just have a few quick funny questions, if you don't mind. Like, it's what we call on the podcast our lightning round questions. If you're game, I'll just ask you a quick question. You answer however you want. It's not all about real estate, but it's all within good taste. It's all positive. Such as the first question is, what is your favorite book?
Favorite book is basically a book which I have just helped put together. It's the story of my mother's survival through the Holocaust.
No way. Wow. Is it published?
Yes, it's published.
Is it under your name? Is it on Amazon? Can I look it up? Order that right now.
6,000 miles to home.
Wow. So I read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, and his time in Auschwitz. And I visited Auschwitz and Birkenau when I was in Poland. And man, second question. This was a funny one. You get to have dinner with anyone. Who would it be? And what would be one question you would ask them?
Very, very interesting. It would be with one of the presidents of the United States, anyone. I don't have any political affiliation. And I would ask them what made them run for this position.
Like what their why was. Why'd you do it?
I would like to know the motivation.
That's a fantastic question. All right. Next question. What's the absolute best gift you've ever received? You can't count family as any of it. No children, no wife.
Well, it starts primarily with unconditional love at home from my parents. But then every time that I do something good for somebody, it gives me a tremendous amount of boost, which I look at it as a gift.
You're a very positive guy. I've always admired that about you, I must say. Like you stated earlier, real estate has lots of ups and downs. What is your favorite failure over the 50 years of real estate?
Accident that occurred in a building, a multi-family building. Thank God there were no casualties, but it was fire that occurred because a plumber accidentally was using a torch and accidentally torched a little bit of insulation and part of the building, which was mostly vacant. Nobody got hurt, went up in flames. So I was very, very upset and disappointed. And I always remember it as one of the biggest blows that I experienced.
Thank goodness nobody got hurt. There's several stories of the plumber and torch. Yeah. Somebody's just sweating a pipe and that goes up. I know of them, and thank God. Last question. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Patience.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is all.